Let's bring him in now. Cavs forward, Dean Wade. Dean, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
So on September 1st, I went to your Twitter feed at Dean Wade 3232, and I saw spiders. I didn't see spiders, I saw spiders. Why? Why? Why all the
Yes.
spiders? Why? Why? Tell us.
Uh, you know, just a small little thing happened. When we got Donovan Mitchell, and I know the city of Cleveland's super excited. So I just threw that out there because I'm excited as well.
So, what was your initial reaction when you found out about getting the three-time All-Star Donovan Mitchell?
I was super excited. I've always loved the way he plays, the way he carries himself, and what he does for the city and organization that he's a part of. And so when I found out the news and all that stuff, I was super excited and I was super happy for the city. And I know he was also looking to get out of Utah, so super happy for him as well.
Were you shocked? Because a lot of the rumors were, other teams, not necessarily the Cavaliers. So, were you extra shocked when you heard the news?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to say the least, because I think like a week before that, some came out on social media that we're exiting talks with the Utah Jazz, and then it happened, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. But it's the NBA. Crazy things happen all the time.
So, when you look at the Cavs, when you first came to the Cavs 2019-2020 season, it was rebuilding. Now, you surprised a lot of teams last year. Things have changed. Are you surprised at how fast this thing turned around for you guys?
I wouldn't say surprised at all. When I came in, DG, and then we got Jay, and then drafted Evan, all that stuff. So we always had the pieces. We were just kind of young and really just needed to grow into leaders. And I think at the age we are now, I think it's the best time for us. We're ready to go. We've been through a few seasons, and we're excited. We're on the upswing. So the only people that can stop us is us. We just got to keep growing, keep being together, and we'll be good.
So clearly, the expectations have changed. I mean, last season, again, you guys surprised some teams. In some respect, maybe some teams overlooked you guys along the way. But at this point, you're going to get a lot of the team's best effort because of what you guys are expected to do. So, how do you guys prepare for that? How do you prepare for that?
You just got to know that every team, you're going to get every team's best shot. That we're a big win on people's schedules now, so every team's going to want to come out and really make a statement. So you just got to come out with a killer mentality and attack every possession and don't take any possessions off because any game can be decided by one or two possessions. So we understand that now, especially after last season that we're on a lot of teams' hit lists, and we just got to go out and play the best basketball we can play hard every game, and don't overlook anyone.
Have you spoken to Donovan Mitchell at all?
A little bit here and there, just a little bit.
Okay. After the trade, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. He excited?
Yeah, very excited.
Okay.
Very excited especially to get the season going and be in a new place playing with DG. I mean, he's very excited.
So, as we said, the expectations have changed. Some believe that the Cavaliers are legitimate contenders in the Eastern Conference. Some even believe this team could win an NBA title. How do you see this team after the addition of Donovan Mitchell?
I see us as more like we are a top-tier NBA team. We got the talent. We got, the guys, rim protection, Evan, Jay, what they do as a bigs is just unbelievable. You got Caleb coming off the bench, give you 30 any night. So, I think we are a top-tier NBA team. I think we can compete with anybody in the league.
So we look at you guys, and I know JB Bickerstaff, your head coach, talked about you guys, unifying, coming together. And I know Kevin Love at the end of the season talked about you guys having some get-togethers in certain cities. He mentioned Nashville. There were reports that some Los Angeles get-togethers happened. Were you a part of any of these workouts?
Yeah, I was a part of them, and it was just a time to get the guys together and start that meshing process. Getting to know each other and really building relationships with each other, and just small things like that. And then with that comes a couple basketball workouts here and there, and it's nice to really kind of get to know somebody before you have to play with them in training camp, and you got to take those crucial weeks of early training camp to get to really know how they play. So these early season summer get-togethers and little workouts are very important.
So, what was the funnest thing that happened on that little trip, those little get-togethers?
I mean, it's always pretty fun. We always get together like every night. We all get go to dinner together, and it's just, I mean, you can't beat that. And then, so it's really hard to pin like one specific thing because we spend like all day at these things, and it's just always really playing video games, cards, all that stuff. We're always together. So I mean, it's really hard to put like a certain time, which is the funnest.
So what video did you play? Some 2K?
No, we played.
Okay.
Well, I guess we played a little 2K, played a little Madden against each other.
All right.
Watched the games.
Okay. Who'd you play with, Madden wise?
Oh, I'm from Kansas, so I got to go with the Chiefs.
Okay. All right. Chiefs look good. Beat up on the Cardinals the other day. Things are good for you. Things are good for you. Chiefs are good. The Cavaliers, a lot of great things coming with this team. Life is good for Dean Wade at this point. You got your option picked up, and life is good for you.
Yeah, I can't complain. Can't complain at all.
We're talking to Cavs forward Dean Wade. So your season ended in March, partially torn meniscus. How is the knee at this point?
My knee is 100%. After I got the surgery, I think I was down for about a month and a half, and ever since then I've been good. Got my rehab taken care of, all that back to normal. First time playing without pain in a little while, so I'm feeling very good.
How frustrating was that, knowing your team was in position to make the playoffs? How tough was that for you to go down when you went down?
Yeah, it was very tough. I've been playing through it for most of the season. And especially at that crucial time in the season, that when it happened, towards the end, and we were right on the line. We needed to win a few games that we should have won, but we didn't. Who knows? Maybe I could have went out there and helped us win, but just not knowing. It just sucks, especially when you could be out there helping. It was very tough mentally, but I got great teammates, and they were like really picking me up, talking to them every day. So it was definitely one of the hardest times of my whole basketball career, just having to feel helpless on the bench and watching those guys play. So, but I learned a lot. Watched a lot of film. Coaches, sat me down, watched a lot of film with those guys. So I got the best out of it. I learned a lot.
You going back to last year, and last year was an interesting year. You guys got off to a tremendous start. We're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference throughout. And then, a lot of injuries happened along the way. Sexton, Rubio, Allen Garland was battling the back. Yeah, Mobley went down, so on and so forth, yourself as well. You guys ultimately dropped to the 7th spot. When you think about last season, do you think about the possibilities, thinking, wow, if these guys were healthy, if we would have stayed healthy, we could have maybe done something in those playoffs?
Yeah, it's hard not to look back and think what if, but we got hit with the injury bug and some other things, so we try to make the best of it. I look back and think of some of the things that I could have done better when I was out there. Maybe a couple missed assignments or some specific games. I remember Chicago. I missed a box out, stuff like that I remember. So you only think about it for a split second about the what ifs. What could have been if we could have stayed healthy. But always try to look forward. And this year, we're all going to stay healthy, and we're gonna make some real noise.
You know, the interesting thing when I look at this team, obviously a lot of young players, but I look at you guys. Look at Darius Garland; he got better from a year ago. You look at Jared Allen, got the big contract, but also got better. You look at Evan Mobley; he just progressed throughout the season. I'm looking at the young core, the young talent, and it's a lot of talent, but it seems to be a lot of character. Seems to be a lot of high character guys who are willing to put in the work to be better. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a better group of guys than what we got. I mean, real, all genuine, great guys. They all have that drive, that hunger to get better. You know, we got some of the best coaches in the league. So I mean, every day, if you want to get better, it's all up to you. And those coaches will be out there helping you. So, and the things I've seen from Evan and Jay and DG from this summer, I mean, they have, exploded. They're even better than they were last year, which is hard to believe. And so, it's impressive, especially, Evan being his first year and then going into his second, what he's done through his first year and how he progressively just got better even through the summer. He's taken big strides, and I'm very excited to see what he does this year. But, it's been, our guys are some of the most genuine people. So, and they're workers, they're always in the gym. People are always, and they're most competitive people anywhere. You can't play any game with them. I'm talking, you can't play Uno with them without being like super competitive. So, that makes them just that much better. They just have that will to win.
You look at Evan Mobley, and I know JB Bickerstaff has said over and over, the guy just contributes to winning. And you just watch his game, you watch his skill set. It is just a winning skill set, all the different things that he can do, his passing ability, his ability on defense, his offensive game, it's evolving. Just looking at his game, were you surprised how good he was so soon, right away?
No, I wouldn't say surprised. I saw him coming out of college and stuff like that, and I just knew. I mean, especially his size, his length, the way he moves. He's just going to be, he's going to be ridiculous. And the first day he stepped on the Cavs court, and we were playing pickup. I was like, yeah, this kid right here is special. The way he moves, he can shoot it, and there's no shot that he can't make, really. And I think all it just comes down to him is just getting a little stronger and then refining those skills. And then of course on the defensive end, I mean, he is just a menace. He's altering all the shots, blocking shots. He's got great hands, so he gets a lot of those sloppy passes people throw. He catches a lot of those. So I wasn't surprised when I knew from the first couple of days. I was like, yeah, this kid is amazing.
Yeah, and I was just seeing some on social media. There was a rip of him doing some crazy stuff in the workouts, passing crazy passes, just something you wouldn't expect a guy his size to be able to do, and he just does it. And he just does it, and it's just so calm. And he just gets the job done. He, like you said, he has the potential to be a very, very good player going forward. So, looking at you in the off season, outside of getting healthy, what did you feel like you needed to do to get better and be better?
For me, I think a lot of it has to do just attacking off the dribble, not just put myself in the box of just shooter, just attacking. People close out to me pretty hard. They kind of run me off the line. I just need to be attack mode off most of that, and so worked on that a lot this summer, and also just moving. My movement threes, off like full speed movement threes. So things like that I just didn't do as much this past couple of years. And I think, especially the coach staff, they helped me think of things outside the box that I could do to get better. So I think those two things were probably the main things I worked on.
So going into next season, last season you played about 19 minutes a game. The year before that, 19 minutes a game as well. So do you see yourself being around that range next season?
Yeah, I'm not real sure.
Okay.
Especially after the whole trade, what's going to happen,
Right.
What's going to go down. They haven't said anything about it, but I think that's a pretty safe bet around there, maybe more. So I have no idea though. My past couple of years, it's been my minutes have been kind of weird because if nobody's hurt, I don't play that much. But if somebody's hurt, I'm playing a whole bunch. So
Right.
this past year, it's been crazy. It really has been. So I have no expectations of what is going to happen.
Well, at this point, you could argue there is a hole at that third spot. So, are you going into training camp with the mindset like, "Hey, I'm trying to compete for a starting spot"?
I don't think that's really the mindset. I'm just going to go into training camp like I always do, just go in and compete everything, and I love the competitive practices, and that's all training camp is super competitive. Everything's competitive. There's always at the run. So, I'm just going to go in there and just battle. It's fun. It's always fun. So I think my mindset has just always been the same. Just go out there and just attack, be aggressive and everything. So, but we got a lot of great players. So
yeah,
it'll be. I'm sure that open spot will be close sometime.
And you talk about the great players you have on the roster. We mentioned a few of them, but I look at what Ricky Rubio brought to you guys last season. He went down ultimately with the ACL. Talk about what he brought to you guys. He just stable. It seemed like he stabilized you guys, stabilized that second unit, and just in general, just stabilized the team.
Right. What Ricky meant to us, man, he was like a real vet leader. Him and Kevin, just some of our biggest, best vet leaders. He's been through it all. He's been at every stage, and he's played in the NBA for a long time, so he brought that that knowledge of the game. He's been through everything. So the way he just come in every day, you could watch him work every day. He did the same things every day. Got a nice little lift in, practiced hard, got shots after every single day. Didn't matter the day. And it was impressive to watch because he never, no matter what happened, he never switched up his routine. And obviously, you saw what he did during the season. He was, I don't remember how many he had in the New York, 37 maybe? 37.
Something around there, yeah.
He was on fire. Yeah, he could do that. You just never knew with him. It was going to have 19 to 35 points a game. The way he plays is crazy. There's no pass that he can't make.
Right.
I think that was the biggest thing because I know DG and him spent a lot of time together before and after practice talking. And, I think that goes a long way. It's just his whole knowledge of the game and passing it on to DG. I think that even helped DG a ton.
The interesting part about him is you watch him during the Olympics, and he played the way he played in the Olympics, where he's aggressive and scoring, is the way he played with you guys last season. It was Olympic Rubio with the Cavaliers last season for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So I look at you and going back to you, undrafted 2019, coming out of K-State. You got picked up by the Cavs. You went to the G League. You played well there. Going undrafted, did that put a little chip on your shoulder?
Oh yeah. You can ask any undrafted player in the NBA. That's probably their biggest chip on their shoulder is that. And it's crazy. I got super blessed and that the Cavs offered me the two-way and I accepted it. And then from then on, it's just been great. I got great teammates and my coaching staff. They really believed in me. They really gave me an honest shot, and that's what I think matters the most. I think a lot of those undrafted guys, they get a real shot and they make the most of it. And I think that's what I did. And it's a crazy journey.
So sneaky athletic, high IQ, and good teammate. Who does that describe?
I think that describes me.
Oh, okay.
I think that describes me.
Yeah. Well, it does describe who you are. You see it. Some of the things that you do. I've seen some dunks. I'm like, oh, I didn't think he could do that, right? And then I see your IQ out there, and obviously you're a good teammate. And speaking of that, we saw last year you guys had the Junkyard Dog Award. It went to the guy. Obviously, you guys had to win in order for it to happen. I believe you got one as well one time. I think you got the chain, right?
I actually didn't get the chain once, or I didn't get the chain at all last season because of some things. But I think a lot of games. I just go out there and just compete every possession. I think I just tried to stay as consistent as possible. And unfortunately, the chain never found me, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. It found hey, all those guys that got them really deserved it. So it's a great award. It's always fun after the game to watch them get the chain. The whole team goes crazy. Everyone takes the pictures. It's always fun.
You got robbed. You should have got it once. You got robbed.
Hey man, I don't want to say anything.
and you talk about your coaching staff, JB Bickerstaff. I mean, he's been with this team, has grown this team. Talk about what JB brings to the table, and talk about being coached by JB Bickerstaff.
JB, man, he's awesome. He's a real players coach. He's gonna drive you. He's gonna get the best out of you. But he's one person that as a player you want to play for. You want to go out there every game. I mean, you play for your teammates and him. He just, he puts it all on line for us. So, we got to reciprocate the energy. And, he's an awesome guy. He really cares about us, asking about our significant others, kids, all that stuff. So, he really cares and it really means a lot to us. But, on the basketball court, man, he's super intense, but also understands basketball. He understands mistakes happen. So he just keeps you, tries to keep you going. And, just a very, very basketball-minded person, very smart, knows the game really, really well. So, being coached by him is awesome. I think he's one of the top coaches in the league for sure.
So going back to you for a moment, and I'm looking at your bio. I see your mom played volleyball and basketball in college. I see your dad played football. I believe your sister plays volleyball as well. So, and of course, there's you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're in the NBA. So, what is it about this Wade blood that seems to produce elite athletes?
I don't know what it is. It's, I mean, there's not a game you can play in my house. Like we all get together. You can be playing Yahtzee. It's still the most competitive game. I'm talking people are like taking it super serious. Any card game we're playing. So, I think it's just that competitive blood in us. I mean, we can't stop. Obviously, we've, God bless, great size and, being able to move well. But, I think it's just one of those things where you can survive in my family if you weren't competitive every day. I mean, my sister and me, super close to her too. She's like my best friend.
Okay.
And she's probably the better athlete out of all of us. But, it's been, I mean, my whole family's just crazy.
How much did that help you in terms of becoming who you are and ultimately getting to having your dad who played competitively in college, and your mother again played competitively in college? How much did that help you?
Oh, I mean, that helped me, the most out of anything really in my whole life. I mean, without those guys pushing me and being my support system the whole time, I can call them at any time, they'll answer. I can talk anything outside of basketball, with basketball. All of them know the game. So, without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And, I tell them every time I see them, like, I appreciate everything they did for me. I love them. So that's my biggest support system. When I'm happy, I call them. When I'm sad, I call them. Anything in between, I'm always talking to them. So, the support especially my parents have given to me and my sister throughout the years, I mean, has been, made so much of a difference. Really just, made me a better person. And it just means the world that they gave up a lot. They sacrificed a lot to see me and my sister succeed. So I could be more appreciative to those two.
So speaking of family, how's grandma?
She's good. She's good. Yeah, she's just always super energetic, everything. She's amazing. So, see her all the time when I go home, try to get as much time with her as I can. And, she's awesome.
So again, we look at the season, and I mean, it's going to be an interesting ride in Cleveland with the additions you made in terms of Donovan Mitchell. Let me ask you this. We look at this team, obviously Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, a smaller backcourt. Do you think that is going to be an issue for you guys, having a smaller backcourt like you have with Garland and Mitchell?
I really don't think so. I really don't. I think, the way Donovan plays, especially on defensive end, he's strong, super strong, athletic. And then obviously we have the two, really, top tier rim protectors behind us. So they cover up a lot of mistakes for us. So even if we do make mistakes here and there, I mean, they're there. So I really don't think it changes too much of what we do. But I mean, those two guys, our backcourt, I mean, offensively, they change games. And so, I mean, on defensive wise, they're going to go out and compete. I mean, they always have, those two guys, and, they're going to play for each other and everyone behind them. So, and we're all following their lead. So when, we'll cover them and they're going to cover us for sure. So I don't think that size will have any issue for us.
Speaking of defense, I think maybe an underrated part of your game is your defense. Talk about the pride that you take on the defensive end of the floor.
I think that's one of the main reasons Coach plays me so much is when he puts me out there on some of the best players in the league, and I love it. I mean, I love the competitive factor of it. I love that. I'm playing the guys that are the best at what they do, and my job is to go out there and try to limit them and stop them. And I take very much a ton of pride in that, and I love it. I love the schemes. We go through the how effective everything is, the strategy, everything, and then it just comes down to one-on-one battle. How much do you want it? How much do you want to get stops? And it's I think it's one of the funnest parts of the games is you line up across from some of the best people in the world at what they do, and it's you versus him, and it's always super fun. I do think defensively is one of my more underrated things in my game. So I take a ton of pride in it. It's probably one thing that I really, really worry about every game is when I go into a game, the one thing is defense. That's the first thing that pops into my mind defensively. What are you doing? Who you guarding? The matchups, everything like that. Just what we doing on ball screens, stuff like that. That's the biggest thing in my mind is when I go out there. What I'm really thinking about is defensively. Where can I help this team? And I think on the defensive end, I can help a lot.
So going back, you talked about Kevin Love and learning from Kevin Love. A lot of people, when they look at your game, they talk about you and comparing you to Kevin Love. And you talked about how you modeled your game after Kevin Love. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, four-man, one of the, obviously the best shooting big, he just picked and pop. He really kind of, I won't say changed the game, but, after him was a ton of, I guess, when he was in the league early, there's a ton of pick and pops, and now it's just all kind of transitioned to having your four-man be shooters. And I think what he's done over his career and what he's done for the game has been unmatched. So as soon as first time becoming a Cav, I sat down on the bench and I watched Caleb work out. He had an individual workout, and I sat and watched the whole thing. And you learn a lot from. You don't even have to ask any questions. You have to talk to him. And you learn a lot from, his work ethic. He's so consistent every day. And of course, his form is unbelievable. But I mean, I learned so much from Kevin. And then he talks. I ask him all the stuff, and he's been through everything as well. So he knows the answer to any question you have. I mean, there's not a basketball question you can ask Kevin Love and he won't know. And he's probably been through that question a time or two. So having him, especially the past couple of years, just anything I needed or asked, he was always there for me. So, I appreciate him so much. And, it was great to see him last year just go crazy and as a sixth man of the year finalist. I mean, it was awesome to watch. And, I still to this day, I love watching him play. And, he's always just been a fighter, really. He's been 20, 30 rebound games, stuff like that. It's always so impressive when you're talking to him. It's like, man, that guy really goes out there and battles. And on top of that, he shoot your face off at any time, give you 30 ball, all threes. So it's always super impressive watching play. And, I don't take for granted. I always go in and try to shoot with him as much as I can. And all things like that. So, I've learned a ton from him.
We'll get you out on this. A lot of people, when we watch NBA players, we look at the glitz and the glamour. But let me ask this. What is the hardest thing about being an NBA player? What's the hardest thing?
The hardest thing about being an NBA player, I would say the consistency, coming in every day, and being great. That's what makes those good players different from the great players. When those great players come in and they're consistent every day, they do the same thing every game. I mean, you're playing 82 games in regular season, and 78 of them, they're having an average to good game. And so, that consistency is really, really hard to do. And, it's very impressive to watch those great players do what they do and do it at such a high level. And then the other thing, maybe I would say the travel, being away from home for weeks and coming back for a couple of days and going right back out. It's tough, the travel is, but you're also traveling, the best way you can. You're out with the team, staying in the nicest places, So that's what's so important about being really good friends with your teammates is, you're with them all the time. And so when you start getting down, you still got friends on your side. And, I think that's one thing I learned a lot from, even Kevin and his mental health, his organization, all that stuff. I mean, he's always asking you how you doing and all this. So, somebody that really cares, it goes a long, long ways. Everyone sees the great things that NBA players, they have and get to do. And, but, there's some things that aren't so fun, the traveling, all that. So, but I would say consistency is the hardest thing. That's what every NBA player is trying to do, is be as consistent as possible or more consistent. So, it's tough, but hey, we live a great life, and I got great teammates.
So speaking of a great life, what did you do this summer? Anything fun, exciting?
I got married.
Congratulations.
Two of my best friends got married. So I had a very, very busy, amazing summer. I couldn't even dream of a better summer.
How's married life treating you?
Man, not much has changed, it doesn't feel like,
Okay.
So this ring on my finger, that's the only thing that changed.
Well, you think the NBA is hard. Married life is not easy. It's not easy.
Exactly.
It's not easy. Dean, we wish you nothing but the best of luck going forward. We hope you have a great season. Big things possibly in Cleveland. The talent seems to be there. The young core is there. This team has the potential. We look at it to be possibly good for a long time. Have you thought about this? Like, look, these guys are young, 20, 21, 22, 23. They're all locked up. The core is together. Like, man, this could be something special for a long time.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be special for a very long time, especially, the love the team has for each other, the relationships we're building. It's going to be a great, great team for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. The talent is definitely there. So, Dean, I appreciate you stopping by. Again, wish you nothing but the best of luck going forward. Would love to do this again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Take care of yourself.